You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Beauty and the Beast After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Beauty and the Beast After Show.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. It is Monday, Beastie Mondays. Welcome to the show. I'm Alikona Bradford, and if you notice, I am not all by myself.
Don't be dramatic.
Yay, my partner in crime is back.
I am back. Sorry I missed you guys last week, but I did watch the episode, and this episode, man, I'm glad I'm back for this, and I didn't miss this one.
You were going through withdrawals, weren't you?
I was, and this one, though, coming back to this one was like, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
got
Let
it.
me ask you, though, you're jealous of my pipes, aren't you?
I am
I know.
jealous of
It's
your
okay.
pipes.
It's okay. You know,
You're welcome to sing
someone
whatever.
between the duo has to have the talent. No, I'm
Somebody.
just totally kidding. I'm
There's
totally
always
kidding.
a lead singer. It's not me.
Anyway, sorry guys. So going into tonight's episode, can I just say thank you, BATB writers. We are back because this time was the first time this season I can honestly say I was so excited. And every time we went to a commercial break, I was like, oh, yes. Oh, what's going to happen next? Oh, my God. Whereas a few of the other episodes in the past, it was a little bit like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
You
No, I
know?
agree. But I do have to say, for me personally, there's one thing that irked me about this episode, and I want to
Okay.
get it off my chest first.
Say it, girl.
I understand that Vincent's remembering things and they're kind of teaming up and she has more trust in him and all of those things.
Right.
But she went really fast from being hesitant to being like, we're strolling in the park. We're kissing each other in public. We're
you
just
know, because she
doing
loves him.
things.
You know what, though? Okay. She wanted nothing but to be with him for so long. And I get it. He pushed her and
but
we're in the
not just-
trust.
I'm
and-
not just irked with her. I mean,
Oh, okay.
him too. It's
Yeah.
like, where did this come from? Like, you want to finish all these missions. Like, I know you've refound your feelings for her and you're very passionate about it. But I feel like he went from being like, I don't know you, to I need to finish killing everybody
Hey.
so I can be with you.
He can hear her heartbeat and it sounds like a melody. Dang it.
Dang it.
I'm
Gosh
just
darn
kidding.
it.
I don't know. I
No,
don't
that was
know.
the only thing. It
Yeah.
just seemed a little sudden to me. I would have
Yeah.
liked to see some more development instead of just see them in that mode already. You know, I kind of
Yeah.
wanted to see the process, like maybe the first awkward kiss that wasn't the first one where he didn't
No.
remember her, like where now he remembers her and they have that first awkward kiss.
Right.
But it wasn't like that.
Right.
Or not
But
even
that's
awkward,
okay,
but
though.
you know.
I'm okay that it wasn't awkward because when they did have that first kiss towards the beginning of this show, it was sweet and it was innocent and it wasn't let me stick my tongue down your throat.
Yeah, it
it
wasn't
was
like,
more like
ugh.
just a soft, sweet, almost non-verbally, I remember you, or I
Yeah.
feel things for you.
No, I definitely saw it in the kiss. It was like a familiar place. You know,
Yes.
it's like, I think I've said this before. It's like going back to an ex, you know?
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
you know how to kiss that person. You've kissed them for however long. You know how that works. So it is nice to see that. I just would have liked to see like a little bit of, I don't know, like first date jitters or something.
Yeah,
You know, I
yeah.
wanted to see them like go through the steps again in a nicer way than they did previously. Because
True.
before it was like, it felt wrong and now it feels right.
How did you feel? Okay, I know we're going to talk about tonight's episode, but since you were gone last week, how did you feel about Vincent using his fed memories against Kat?
I didn't like it at all,
Oh,
obviously.
I was mad.
And it's hard because it's also like the boy who cried wolf. You know, he pretended to have these memories and then he had memories. And it's like, uh-oh.
Right.
Like, at first I didn't think, well, it didn't go over that great with Kat. You know, she was definitely mad and she went on this break. But I would have been way more pissed off than she was. I would have felt so violated. I mean, that is her heart. That is her everything, and she's been fighting for it for months, or even you say the year, you know, that she's been trying to make their relationship work, and he used it against her, and I don't like that.
Right. Well, I mean, put yourself in her shoes too. Not only is she going and dealing with all that, but at the same time, as mentioned at the beginning of the episode, her sister just left, and then she found out her dad's not her real dad with all this Vincent stuff going on. That's a lot for one person to handle right now. So it was nice to see Tess is, being the best friend and taking care of her friend. And at one point they're at the massage parlor at the spa. And it's funny, this is such a random thing to pick up on, but how Tess and they were talking about just relaxing and letting go. And then you see Kat, and she's on the massage table, but she's like in this weird position that just looks so uncomfortable. And I don't know if, as far as cinematography is concerned, like they did it on purpose to make her look like she's just a big ball of like
Tension,
stress.
yeah,
but that's what she looked like to me.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, she probably is a big ball of stress.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Because
she
she's sitting there
is.
like, yeah, I'm calm. I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
you do not look calm at all.
You look a little out of it, girl.
Just a little bit. Anyway, so let's start from the very, very beginning of the show. Nothing to do with the storyline whatsoever, but I will say I noticed some very lovely push-ups, at the beginning of the show. Pull-ups, excuse me.
But he did push-ups too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He can push or pull anything. I really don't care.
That sounds
As long
so
as his
wrong.
shirt's
He can
off, it's
push, he
okay.
can pull, he can
Just,
do whatever he wants.
Anyways, so basically, putting that all to the side, let's talk about Gabe. I talked about him a little bit last time, but this time around, he's really trying. At the beginning of the episode, even I, along with Tess, was like, dude, like, what is your motivation right now? Because I don't know if it's creepy or if it's cool.
I don't think it's that creepy. I think he does have a boyish crush on Kat.
Oh, yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with the fact she saved his life. I think that's huge. I think that's, when something like that happens in your life, you feel for that person. I also think it has a lot to do with him proving himself. He needs to prove that he is worthy of being brought back to life and being there.
Of course.
And, I think he's so focused on it because for such a long time he tried to escape being a beast. It's just like, okay, somebody who survives a disease or a cancer.
Right.
You know what I mean? You fought. Breast Cancer Awareness Month it's still happening right now. You fought, and if you won, you want to help everybody else. You don't just say, I beat breast cancer, I'm good, I'm out of this,
Right.
Almost everybody I've ever met says, no, I'm fighting for this cause. I'm fighting for everybody else who might not make it, who doesn't have the resources I had.
Right.
So I think having that mentality, it's almost like being a beast is a disease. It's not something they chose. It's not something they picked for themselves. It's not how they saw their life going. And he obviously must know a lot of how Vincent feels in his own body, and he's just trying to help. I think it's just another cause. It might seem weird to us because being a beast isn't a disease in the real world.
Right.
So I like that he's like that. I think, he likes Kat. He wants to prove to Kat, but I think it has a lot more to do with what he went through in his life because that's rough. I mean, that's traumatic for anybody.
You know what, Paige? That was such a beautiful explanation. Seriously, like such a great way to put it that way because it doesn't.
Round of applause.
It's such a great way to think about it. It really is, and it clarifies for me personally. I'm like, oh, I can empathize a little bit more because at first I was about to knock on him for the bromance and just be like, it almost seems like he's got a weird unhealthy obsession with Vince, but
it does feel like that because I think the way we look at it, not looking at it like a disease. I guess for me, I look at it as it's his cause, and it's not going to just be. I don't think it's just going to be Vincent. Obviously Vincent's killing these bad beasts for his missions, but maybe along the line they'll bump into some good guys and they will try and help them escape or to become better. I really didn't like. I know the guy was a bad guy, the arsonist, this episode. I didn't like how Muirfield would take somebody out of jail, make up this crazy story. Yeah. And then, it just kind of blew up in their face with all these fires and things like that. And then, the rest of the world, they're sitting there like, oh, listening to this news story. Oh, he was an escaped convict and he started this and he did this. It's like, like, does this happen in real life? Like, what am I being told that's not real? Right. I don't know.
And Gabe was the one who he was ahead of the game as far as that's concerned too, in figuring out who these people are, what their motivation is, trying to figure out the next step. So that part about him, I really liked. And we got to see him more in his work environment, I want to say in a proper way compared to last season because last season, obviously, he had the motivation of finding Vince and killing Vince, which that brings me to the next point too, when he finds Vince this time around on the boat and Vince is like, okay, explain yourself. You got like 5 seconds, go. Well, I tried to kill you once, but I'm like, before you even open your mouth, I was thinking it's a good thing Vincent has no recollection of who you are and what you've done to him in the past.
But at least he was honest and he didn't hide anything because he also knows Vincent cannot, he'd be lied to. He cannot
Right.
lie to him. He doesn't. I mean, he could have put a tack in his shoe. He probably should have put a tack in his shoe, but he didn't. So I think that it was best that he just came right out with it and said, "I wanted to kill you. I thought you were a cure for me." And it also made him relatable because he came out and said, I was a beast,
Right.
and Kat saved me." And
Right. And I'm offering you the opportunity to have a life and be a human again, too. Because he brought up the part about not having control. And I think that's something internally that now Vince is starting to become more aware of, that he does not have control of himself.
Do you think he doesn't have control, or he just doesn't have control? Because I was gonna say, in certain situations, like I know when he got mad at Kat, he did that. But do you think he had control over that? Because we've never seen him beast out unintentionally, other than this episode with a flashback, and he wasn't having a flashback when he did
Right.
that.
I don't think he necessarily has control of his emotions like that, as far as when he gets really amped up and charged up. But for me, what I was talking about now, more so outside of that too, but he doesn't have control of his life because he's being run by somebody.
Yeah. I feel like it would be so. I know Vincent doesn't know who's controlling him. Like, he doesn't know his boss.
Right.
His voice is masked. You know, I mean, I think you have a way of figuring it out, or he should
He's
have a way.
smarter than that, or his senses are hyped
Or
up
he could
enough,
just
right?
go rogue. Just go rogue.
Yeah.
And just hide somewhere. But I guess it's hard with Kat, and now his boss, who's Kat's father, knows. Well,
Right.
he basically tells him.
Oh, I did not like him. He ticked me off this episode. Granted, that is his motivation, but what I didn't like about him is the fact that he's really manipulating Vince at this point, because I think he wants to keep Vince away from Kat just because of what he is and what he's capable of, or whatever the case may be. He knows who his daughter is. He knows that they had a relationship, and everything he's feeding to Vince is in his own way trying to keep them apart. If that makes sense. You know, like at the one point when Vince had flashbacks and later on he's on the phone with Reynolds, one of the things Reynolds said to him was just stay away from anything that's going to trigger more of those.
But
yeah,
he also said,
obviously that's Catherine.
You're a soldier. You have a mission. Those are
Right,
going to distract you from
exactly.
your mission. Wait till your mission's over. Yeah, he's being very manipulative. But at the same time, I don't 100% feel that all of his intentions are bad. I feel like, yes, these are bad people that Vincent's going after. They have bad motives, and Vincent is the good guy in this situation, and that they are trying to get rid of all the bad parts of Muirfield. But obviously, if he has to hide his voice and it's a mission and he can't reveal himself to his daughter, there is an underlying thing going on. But do we think that's a power above her father? Do we think it's just her father? Do we think her father maybe is somebody like Gabe, who seems to have bad intentions, but in reality is just trying to do the right thing for himself? Or
I don't know. I mean, as far as doing the right thing, from what we're finding out, there's a bajillion other beasts that you could buy or create. Why Vincent? Why the man that's involved with your daughter? There is
maybe
a
Vincent's the
motivation.
only nice one, like the only good one.
Okay, but then why take him away from your daughter?
Because he's a beast.
I know, but
I mean,
you have the resources. Cure him if you really want your daughter to be happy. And how do you even know? Like, how do you know?
But how did he know that they were in love? Like, he knows now, but when
Yeah.
he took him, did he really know they were in love? Or did he see Kat on the ground and say, "That's my daughter, don't shoot her"?
I mean, he did that too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe that was
Yeah.
just, he was like, "Oh crap, my daughter is with the beast." Like,
Right.
what?
Do you really think after this list is all said and done
No,
for...
I don't think he's just gonna be free.
You know, I didn't even finish my question.
But I know that was your question, right?
It was my question,
No,
yes.
I don't think he's gonna be free.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And it's sad because I'm thinking, here's Vince really honestly thinking it's going to be done and over with.
No,
That's no.
I
Not
think.
so bueno.
Well, I think he'll think it's done, but he's on the list.
Right. I'm wondering how threatened Reynolds feels by these emotions too, or these flashbacks, I should
He
say.
should feel pretty threatened.
It was huge. You know what? We had a really huge... I hate jumping all over the place. I'm
I
so
know,
sorry to
it's
do
so
it to you guys.
hard.
But something comes into mind, and I just want to talk about it. I really want to talk about the flashback in the hospital. We'll talk about
With
how
his
he got
nephew?
into the hospital. Yeah. It filled in such a huge void in the story, because when Vince is talking about the flashback in the fire with his brother, and Kat's looking at him going, we? Because Vince keeps on saying we were in the fire, and if we hadn't split up, and even I was a little bit confused, to be honest with you.
Well, I
because
was like, did he lie about being a doctor, or are these like planted memories,
right.
like fake memories that they put
Well,
into his mind?
that, or I was thinking somehow in his beastie senses something got twisted, and he was remembering from one of his brother's perspectives and seeing what really happened in that
Right, because
situation.
I remembered both brothers were firefighters,
Exactly.
so I was like, is he thinking he was one of the brothers, but he wasn't actually one
Yeah.
of the brothers?
But it was, God, it was such a
I loved
clever way they wrote it in, as far as his, having the flashback with the brother saying, Mom wouldn't want all three of us to go out this way or what have you. And obviously, ironically, in that flashback, Vince was the one who was being a little bit arrogant or ignorant, however you want to put it, running around trying to do things, and he got himself in trouble in the fire. Well, that's what his little cousin was doing, being arrogant, running all over the place, trying to save the world, and where did it get him? In trouble.
Almost dead.
Exactly.
My one thing with these flashbacks, I loved the flashbacks in themselves. The one flashback I didn't love so much was when his brother was like talking to him and then like kind of directed him to Aaron. Like, I know it was like showing him his son and like saving him and directing him to his family, but at the same time I think he could have just had the flashback and kind of stumbled upon Aaron, because then I think that brought, I know this whole show's about supernatural stuff, but we don't talk about ghosts. We don't talk about ghosts on this show, and that was the one thing to me. I felt like there was a little bit of a crossover there that we don't normally see. But I do like that we're learning more about him, because as when we talked to JT, I was gonna say, but when we talked to him when he was here, he talked a lot about their character development. They're all going to develop, and we're going to see a lot more of these people. And maybe we thought we knew everything about Vincent. We knew that his brothers had died. We knew that his father had died. We knew that he went to Afghanistan and then he was a doctor and all of these things. But now we're learning more.
Right.
You know, he has more family that he remembers. And he has, you know, a life that Kat doesn't know about.
Right.
That he never decided to tell her. Did he not remember it? Did he choose not to tell her?
No, I think he chose not to tell her. And I think that was another just great part of the story, because looking at it from a human perspective, that situation probably left a lot of guilt in the old Vince, because even he was talking about, you know, what if I could have been there to save my brothers, which he probably wouldn't have been. He probably would have perished in 9/11 as well. But that is a great reason to not tell somebody that you're getting to know.
Yeah.
You know, who wants to talk about the guilt you feel over your brothers dying?
When he already feels guilt over killing everybody he's killed as a beast.
Exactly. Just so, I feel like it was so clever, just because obviously they didn't know there was going to be a season 2. They didn't know they were going to have to write all this stuff in. So to come up with all that, I was like, go writers.
Yeah, no, this episode was great. It really was a killer episode. I was going to write in my tweet, this episode's killing it, but I decided to write this episode was on fire.
Yeah.
Yes. It was on fire.
It was.
I think that's very interesting to know that these beasts all have different qualities. Like, this one's fire retardant.
Yeah.
He can't catch on fire, and he can just walk through big burning buildings.
No, and he blazes fire. Not only that, but he runs, and a whole trail of fire comes from behind him. And we got to see Vincent once again vulnerable, because the week prior, there was another beast that outbeasted him. Even though Vince is supposed to be this supercharged beast, it seems like he's getting his butt kicked a lot more this season.
Because it seems like he's an enhanced human, whereas this guy had superhuman qualities.
Right.
Where he can start fire. And
with some creepy eyes, by the way.
Yeah, and he also, you know, just looking at him, it wasn't like he was just a beast. You could tell he kind of had evil intentions, and I didn't like that at all. But
Vince even said that, though.
Yeah.
When he was talking in their final scene together, he had made mention about something along the lines of the other guy made the mention, you know, we're both beasts and we're both paid by these super rich.
We're both guinea pigs.
Yeah, to these super rich people. And that's when Vince said, no, you were already psycho to begin with.
Yeah, you were already a convict.
I
mean, you were in jail.
Neurotic. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel I liked their first meeting, and I kind of enjoy the fact that, not enjoy, that's a bad word, but I liked the fact that they made it so that Vincent got hurt and had to go to the hospital, and that he does have weaknesses. He's not just going to survive everything, because up until this point, I don't think he thinks he's invincible, but he could have been dead.
Okay, but here's the difference between old Vincent and new Vincent. I feel like that would have never happened to the old Vincent, because he used to heal so quickly. Like, remember last season, he could get shot, he'd get wounded, and his skin would just... and he'd go back to normal. So it was weird to see him, A, in a hospital as a true victim, and B, he's on this breath stabilizer, which was even crazier to me. And even in his face and his eyes, something about him looked slightly defeated.
And he was wheezing, and it was definitely sad.
But I did like the conversation between him and Catherine, and when he was beasting out, that was brilliant as far as the way it was shot.
Yeah.
His fingernails were really gross.
Yeah,
by the way.
I don't love fingernails like that. Like, whenever a show has, you know, the nasty fingernails, I'm like, cut your nails.
Right? And then he goes and jumps out the window. I'm like, yeah, that's not...
He could have just ran away.
You know, I mean, that's not suspicious or anything.
What they say, somebody came and shot at him because he was undercover. Like,
some whole huge story. But Gabe came to the rescue like that as soon as the cops came in. He was on it with his story. Oh, his name is Victor. He's from the DA. He's undercover.
How does, though, Kat's dad know that Vincent's there? How does he know he's the John Doe? Because it could have been anybody. Anybody could have been in that building.
Which is why they call them John Doe.
Exactly.
There's probably
It did
80
not
of
have to be
those.
Vincent, and you didn't give Vincent this order, so how would Vincent have known about this? You know, unless he is keeping tabs, like, does he have video cameras in Vincent's apartment? Does
Maybe.
he have another beast tracking Vincent? I mean, what is happening? That's my question. How does he always know where Vincent is? How does he know AD, you know?
Well, he can't have a camera because if he did have a camera or some sort of bug, he would have known that Gabe went to visit him, that Kat's been there multiple times, and in their visits, they've discussed certain ploys and plots, so he would have known.
Yeah, but maybe he does know, and those just aren't a big issue for him right now. Like, maybe before the flashbacks came, he didn't think much of it.
Right.
Because Vincent was staying on track, and Vincent was saying, I can't tell you. I
But
can't tell you.
as soon as Gabe came into the house, boat, whatever you want to call it, and offered to make Vincent normal again, that would have been a key trigger for me to get up on the phone real quick and call Vince and tell him to
Yeah,
either
but guess
get rid of
what?
Gabe. What?
Vince ran out the door. So maybe he did call Vince.
Well, I don't know.
And that's how he would know he was at the fire, because he
This is
heard
true.
Gabe telling him about that. I don't know if this is true. I'm
Yeah.
just hypothetically saying,
Yeah.
how does he know where Vincent is all the time?
Who knows? Maybe as a chip, a tracking
A chip,
device.
he's like a
like a
pet.
dog.
Like a pet, when you get their little chip
Yeah,
in their back.
exactly.
Yeah, I hope not.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird.
I just had a thought. Sorry. I
What?
was like, if you could chip your boyfriend.
Yeah, you can you have that iPhone out.
Right?
You're like, oh, that's
Mhm.
where he is.
Sorry, I'm not crazy, I promise.
Yeah, we don't know who Alikona is.
Yeah, you know. Anyways, so okay, going back to Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Keller, I don't know if he's going to be showing up in any future episodes, but I kind of would like to see him there.
I think he will. I don't
Yeah.
think often, but I think we will see him again.
But do you think that Vincent will ever come clean and tell
No,
him who he
can't.
is?
He's dead. He's dead.
Well, one day, I don't know.
How do
Maybe
you
he will
explain that?
revive.
How do you do that? How do you do that to your mother?
That's true.
How do you do that? You know, she's already mourned you.
That's true.
How do you shake up the world again? I mean, and he can't really enter their lives as a new person because he looks
Like
the
Vincent,
same.
yeah.
But you can tell Aaron felt something.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, Aaron was like wee tall. He was like what, little?
Well,
when
I was
his
trying to
uncle
do
was
the
around.
math. Like, I know you can be a firefighter at 18.
Yeah.
So he maybe will say, you know, it's been about 10 years, maybe now 11 years
Mhm.
since Vincent died. Maybe say that the son was 8 or 9, so maybe
Mhm.
18, 19, 20, like
Mhm.
that age range.
Mhm.
So, I mean, but you would think he would still remember what his uncle looked like.
Yeah. You know, I would think so too, but
And especially
Maybe
where
he-
we're talking about your Uncle Vincent. Like, you're talking about him.
to him,
Yeah,
that's a little weird.
And he must resemble your
They don't.
dad.
He didn't age much since the doctor years. or
No,
so we've
and
seen.
he must resemble your father and your other uncle and your
Right.
your other members of your
Right.
family. They must look similar. Like, there's traits that you would recognize in that person.
I don't know. Maybe it was traumatic to lose all those people in his life, and he just doesn't remember.
Well, no, I mean, it could very well
Yeah.
be that it was just overwhelming to lose everybody, and so now it's no longer present.
Right. Well, I want to talk about Gabe too. I want to go back to the Gabe. Gabe and Tess had a few interactions back and forth, and I told one of our Twitter followers we could talk about it. I think she's already sleeping though. I'm not sure. But at CarrieBear09 had said that she thinks that Tess likes Gabe because Tess is calling out Gabe on
Yeah.
all his, you know.
Do you think it's a friend thing though? Like, she's
I-
calling out in protection of Kat, or because she likes Gabe?
I honestly, sorry, I don't think she likes Gabe.
I don't think she likes
I don't
Gabe either.
feel like chemistry there. I feel like it's more of like, dude, bro, like I can see right through you. You're doing all this because you like her. You might want to, you do have a cause. It is noble. I will say that. But come on, man.
But that's like the best friend role. You either take the role of the matchmaker or the heartbreaker. Like, you have to be
Yeah.
like, okay, I know you like her, but it's not happening, you know?
Right.
So your friend doesn't have to deal with it.
right.
And plus, Kat's too busy to even notice or care. Or to
Yeah, no,
think
she's
about
too
it.
wrapped up in her
So,
own world.
I don't think Gabe really has anything more than a schoolboy crush, and I don't think Tess has a crush on Gabe.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I do think Tess needs some love in her life. I really do.
I think
because-
she needs to be single. I tell everybody, you need to be single for a year after a breakup like that.
Yes, but at the same time, generally when you do have that type of breakup, you are with your friends or you're going out and doing stuff. And the one friend that she seems to be close to is the one friend that's too occupied in her own drama, lots of drama, to do
Yeah.
that.
Well, I hope she has other friends that we don't see.
Yeah, it would be
You
nice.
know, it'd be sad if it was just her and Kat, like two best friends conquering the world, working together, and they have no other friends.
Right.
But, I mean, I would like to see her have some prospects.
We didn't see JT at all this episode. Not even like a glimpse of him.
No, but I mean...
His name was mentioned.
Yeah, but there's not always room for everybody. I mean, we didn't see very much of Tess one episode. I think, you know, depending on the storyline, he didn't really fit. I mean, where was he going to...
On the phone?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what, though? But he is working with Gabe hand in hand now, and they're working as a mission together when, you know, last season they were opposing forces. And I think I mentioned it last episode that it's nice to see everybody really come together as a team.
Mm-hmm.
But see, then that makes it JT and Tess, Vince and Kat, and then just Gabe all by his lonesome. Maybe he'll fall in love with Tori, guys.
No.
No? Okay. You know, I'm just trying to hook everybody up.
I know. I don't necessarily think... I think there'll be flirtation between JT and T for a while. I don't necessarily think there'll be a relationship there.
Yeah.
I kind of hope she starts dating somebody we don't know.
Yeah.
And I hope Gabe finds somebody too. But at the same time, I think that's not the main focus this season. I think this season, it really is about the character development as characters. Not as couples, not as a love. You know, we had this epic love story last season.
Right.
Now it's not about that.
No, it's
now
not.
it's about who's Kat, who is her father, what is her life, you know, who is Vincent,
Right.
what really happened to him, what was his story like, and just figuring out more about everybody.
Right. Well, you know, even Jay Ryan had mentioned, I was watching an interview that he did earlier, and he was just saying, you know, this season is a lot more action-packed. It's something that, you know, the girls can watch with their boyfriends, hopefully, because the action's for the guys, but they're still kind of, you know, putting in the romance. But I was going somewhere with this, and I totally had
But it's not all romance filled?
Yeah, no, it's not even that. It's, he was just saying that if things were to come together so easily and it was just, they were romantic and they were together and they were happy, he was like, it would be a boring show.
Yeah.
And I was like, good point, but you just basically spilled the beans and told me that this whole entire season we are not going to get that epic love that we want. We might get it in pieces like we did this episode, and I will say it did satisfy me enough to be okay with how things are going.
Okay, but what comes after an epic love story? It's the happily ever after. And it's
Beastie Babies.
Well,
duh.
yeah, but that's what it is. You know, it's
No, I
living
don't
in a
know.
home, it's getting married, it's having babies,
But
or whatever your version is. It's whatever your version is.
It's taking on the world together. Now we are a team. Let's fight the bad guys together.
But
And
they're doing that. It
but
doesn't.
they're not in love. It's more fun when they're in love.
They are in love. They are in love. I think he knows he loves her. He just doesn't know why yet. And she knows she loves him, obviously. I just think if you have an epic love story, they came together, they found each other, they fell in love, and then what normally happens is they live their lives. That wouldn't be fun to watch, but this is them living their lives. This is taking on the world together. You can't have an epic love story forever. You have to have, unless you want breakups. And I know you beasties don't want breakups.
No.
Like intentional breakups. This one was like forced upon him. But, you know, that's what it is. An epic love story would have ups and downs or plateau.
Right.
And so we don't want really either of those.
But last season's, it was, when they got together, it was still an epic love story, but it was, let's get him out of Murfield.
But they were still hiding it. They were still kind of.
They'll never be out in the open until he's fully cured, which, by the way, also, too, it was a little devastating to see Gabe, who was so hopeful about having this cure, and it just flat out didn't work.
Yeah. But
he was truly a rare case, and
we still don't know what it could have been the medicine Gabe was taking and how that reacted with the defibrillator. I got it. Guys, it's late. But, you know, it could have been many different things that Gabe was putting into his body or how he was treating himself.
Or just his genetic makeup, because each
they're
and
all
every
different.
beast is individual.
Gabe didn't spew fire.
He surely did not.
So maybe all we needed was water for this guy.
Yeah. That would have been weird.
I'm just saying, like, there has to be something for everybody, and it all has to be different.
And if that's the case, though, then how difficult would it be to find a specific cure for
I
Vince?
think it's not going to be very hard now that he's been mutated to be something completely else or different than what he was previously. I think JT, if he really got close enough to Vincent to really delve into it, he could figure it out. But they're not close right now.
Do you think that possibly Reynolds would have a cure?
Yeah, I
like
think
he
so.
would know. I mean, like, because you brought up a good point. If
Maybe
you know the
not,
genetic, or I wasn't say, but if you know what it took to make something up, which
You know how to get rid of it.
exactly.
But the thing is, he's killed off most of Muirfield. And I don't think Reynolds is the one who created these formulas or anything. And I don't think he really knows how to do it. He's just the man in charge. He's the big man on top.
Yeah.
And he used to have people who could fix Vincent, but I don't think so anymore. And if he doesn't have an antidote, he probably has something that just kills him.
I mean, I don't think it's that difficult to kill them, to be honest with you.
I mean, you could just shoot him.
Exactly.
I mean, it seems like he can die just like anyone else.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. The one thing I wanted to talk about is kind of totally irrelevant, but I will say at the very end of the episode, when Kat and Vincent are walking together and they're getting to know each other, I love that scene. Not only because of that, because another thing that Jay Ryan was saying is that this season they're trying to go out to New York a little bit more. The new people that are on the team are like, yeah, last season was great, but it wasn't fast-paced enough to be really true to a New York type of vibe. So that's why I guess twice a month or so they're trying to go back into town to film there and in Canada. The one scene that we did see that was true and blue was the 9/11 memorial. And that
I loved.
Yeah, that was such a fantastic scene, a great tribute. I know that we're in October, so it's not quite 9/11, but you know, it's just the point that they took the time to really show that, and it was just wonderful. I loved it.
I think, you know, obviously it was something that hit close to home in America, but even all over the world, everybody knows what 9/11 is. Yeah. My thing about it is it doesn't have to be a tribute. It doesn't have to be anything like that. There are people who go there daily and visit their family, and Vincent is just remembering now that he's lost his brothers to this. And so I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's nice because it's relatable. I love when shows, because I feel like, you know, especially other CW shows or just any show in general, it doesn't really reference real life things that are happening. Yeah. You know, you don't normally hear things that are going on in the real world. Whereas I was very shocked, and I'm surprised to see this episode. You know, we already knew about 9/11, but they incorporated a real life event into this show. Whereas I was watching, I think, Scandal last week, and they mentioned the Boston bombings. And I was like, it really caught me. And I was like, wow, like they are really making shows these days so much more relatable. Whereas I know there's been shows like MASH where it's like about the war or things like that, but this is everyday people referencing things that we all know.
And how many people really truly, not to get too deep on everybody, but how many people in America who were watching this show tonight were affected by that, whether it be a friend, family member, colleague, or what have you? I'm sure there were tears that poured tonight in watching this show, because
that's the thing. And I love that. And I love that it's a show where, you know, you don't watch it and say, oh, wouldn't that be interesting? Or, you know, obviously we don't have beasts, we don't have these things happening, but these are things that are happening. People do visit that every day. That is a real thing that happened. People lost firefighters in that. And so I like that they do that. And I like when shows bring up relatable things where, it's an intriguing show, and if they just made up a historical event, it still would have been sad, and it still would have been something that we felt bad for, but this hits closer to home for, I think, everybody watching.
Exactly.
Which I like.
And even in the way that they wrapped the show, it wasn't, we have a beautiful moment and then cut to something that's going to be a cliffhanger or whatever. I think it was so appropriate that they just ended it as is.
Yeah.
I know.
I really liked it. I thought it was very nice, and I really liked that he is getting more parts of his life, you know, back to him, even if they are sad.
I concur. All right. Well, I'm pretty sure that wraps up this evening's episode. You guys are always welcome in the future. I'm sorry I didn't say it in the beginning of tonight, but you're always welcome to tweet us in the middle of the show. And if you have a topic that you want us to talk about, or if you're in bed already by the time we go on live, please tweet us before the show with your questions, and then we will do our best to remember to go over everything. Yeah. So with that said, let's go into some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, so I have some pictures that our engineer will be putting up for us, so that way I can talk about stuff. And you know, everybody on Twitter has that hashtag TBT, if I said it right, Throwback Thursdays. Well, I'm making it Throwback Monday today. Last week, my theme was couples in real life on BATB, which, correction, thank you so much. Somebody on Twitter let me know that Kristen is no longer with her boyfriend that I put the picture up, so oops, I'm so sorry. And if you look at this lovely picture, it is Tess, a.k.a. it's Nina. And this is just an old headshot, and I don't think it's really that old, but she looks so pretty and cute. I just wanted to show it. Yeah, and I'm sure you guys as fans have looked at these pictures already, but I just thought it was fun to collectively there we go, all together and look at these pictures. And it's crazy because some of these pictures, she's so little and petite, and I think because it could be the way she's dressed on the show or the way she's carrying herself.
She might have bulked up. I mean, she's playing a cop. I feel like she has more muscle
she even was talking about her character in season 1 being so boyish.
They've really lightened her up.
Yes,
though.
I like that. Cute and sexy. Can we move on to the next picture, please?
Ooh.
And of course, you ladies have seen this picture too, but it's Jay Ryan in his younger years. I wish I could have gotten like real younger years, but this is as low as I could find.
Of Jay.
Yeah. Clean cut. Probably back in Australia, New Zealand.
Zealand.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Let's move on to the next picture. Oh, no signal. But, oh, there we go. Oh, it's Austin Basis looking so cute and so boyish. I don't know. I think it's absolutely adorable. He's a fan favorite over here. So
He's a fan favorite. I feel like the nerdy, lovable
love
kinds
to
are.
you know, Austin Basis, if you're watching, you have to send us a baby picture. I would love to see little baby Austin.
Oh my
think
God,
he'd
I
be
would
so
die.
cute.
I would
I just
die.
want to pinch your cheeks. Okay, next
I
picture.
don't think you say that to a grown man, but maybe the baby before. Oh, who's this? Is
Look
this
at
Kristen?
this cutie patootie. It is. There's one more of her as a little eeny weeny baby. And hopefully we can pull that one up too. But it's her. So cute.
She's so cute. She looks
Isn't
the
she?
same.
You know what? And she does.
It's the
and
eyes.
she's so beautiful, you guys. Just skin, face, everything. Ugh.
Yeah.
Crazy though. I was debating bringing this up, and I will bring it up just because I think it's so disrespectful. But I was putting her in my image search, and there's some really not so nice pictures that people have photoshopped her into that I don't know. I just don't appreciate. I don't think it's cool at all. So men.
Or
whomever,
women.
Or women. Don't do that to your favorite stars. That's not okay. I know you think they're beautiful, but don't do that.
Yeah.
Did we find the other baby picture of Kristen? There she
Oh,
is. And
that
you can actually
cut,
see.
that haircut, man.
You can see, yeah, the hair between the haircut, but you can see her cute little eyes too.
Well, no, it's her eyes. I mean, she's got a very unique look, and she's very cute.
So, anyways, those are my beastie babies.
Beastie babies.
Beastie babies, if you will. And then I had other random pictures that I found that I just thought were funny. There was a picture of, I don't know if this will be the next one or not, but there's one of Sendel and Austin. Oh no, this is naked Kristen. In a very tasteful way, though. Very artsy, tasteful.
Well, this
and
was from like Smallville times. Like I think when
Yes.
she was trying to break out of being a teen, and you know.
every female is either a singer or actress. They go through that phase where they want to prove to the world that I am an adult. Let me get naked.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus.
But she looks good.
Of course. Yes. Perfection.
Perfection. Who's that?
Oh, this is Sendel. This is him. I don't know what this picture is from, but it is definitely him, and I think it's maybe an earlier movie. I'm not sure what it is. It looks a little bit caveman-esque.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
Question is that weave or is that really his hair? And are you in the mirror or is somebody feeding you chocolate?
I think somebody's feeding them some chocolate.
That is interesting. That looks like the cover of a romance novel.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on to our next picture. There's the funny picture that I have found. I have no idea what this is for, what this is from, or what you two men are doing with a pregnant lady's suit. But
Well, that means somebody's pregnant on the show.
possibly, bum bum bum. If you are listening on iTunes right now, I'm so sorry we're not giving you a very visual. You'll have to come back on YouTube and see some of these pictures.
Yeah.
But while you are on iTunes, make sure you comment, rate, and give us 5 stars.
Yeah, and let us know your thoughts. Like we said, tweet us, comment, tell us what you're thinking. We read them. We keep them in our minds. You guys tweet like crazy.
And we love it.
Yeah, we do. So, but remember, we don't get to them all. We don't mean to.
Yes,
It's just
so
hard.
sorry.
You guys there's so many BATB fans.
All right, so next I want to talk about also, there was a new press release for episode number 5. Oh, here we go. This may not be from episode 5. It's from episode 6, I believe. But either way, so this is supposed to be Tori's father. And if you recognize this guy, he played Dan on One Tree Hill, which I still love that show. PS.
That's funny because CW just brought a One Tree Hill character back on Heart of Dixie tonight.
Did they?
Yeah, so One Tree Hill people, they're coming back.
So, okay, so his name is Paul Johnson, and his character's name is going to be Kurt, who's described as an arrogant and powerful Manhattan business mogul whose career has had a mediocre rise within the last few years. He becomes increasingly paranoid as a result of his career and surrounding himself with armed bodyguards to keep his daughter close and keep a close eye on her. I'm wondering if one of these armed bodyguards just happens to be a beast.
Huh, we'll have to find out.
Yes. Oh, also, beasties. Just some facts. I'm sure you guys might know this already, but more than 300,000 voters weighed in on HollywoodLife.com's hottest fall TV couples poll. And of course, who won the poll but Vincent and Catherine? So congrats to all the
Good
BCs.
job.
Good job. You guys have always been so good coming together for the cause. And I think that's one thing that makes this show so special. I was talking about that with some of the other BC followers over our little break this past week. It's just a unique cult in a great way.
Yes, in a nice way.
So anyways, that is my news for today. Let's go into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so we know that Tori is coming up. I do believe I said episode 5. I don't remember if I said episode 5 or 6, but she's going to be saved by both Vincent and Kat. What is she going to be saved from is what I want to know. I don't know if she's going to be wired as something very evil and confused, and maybe they come about her path and try to show her the light. At that point, Vincent hopefully will have a little bit more recollection of what his life used to be and is on a path of getting himself out from under the control of Reynolds. Is where I'd like to see it going. Again, I don't think that there's going to be anything between Gabe and Tess. Will his affection for her or longing for her grow? I don't know. I don't think so. I think he knows he doesn't have a chance. But it is like one of those things where, you know, if you love it, let it free. And if you love Kat, you do what's best for her, which is get her Vincent back.
I see nothing happening with Kat and Gabe, nothing happening with Tess and Gabe. I do see a bit of a normalcy coming into place. I feel like they're going to let us feel comfortable for a little while with Kat and Vincent, with the whole group. I feel like it's going to be the gangs back together, figuring things out and working for a greater cause, just to get us comfortable enough where they can shake it up and really throw us for a loop. That's my prediction. I don't think anything's going to happen with Reynolds next episode or even maybe the next episode. I think they're really going to let us settle into this, and then we're going to get thrown for a loop. I don't know how. I don't know if they're going to try and kill Vincent or what's going to happen, but I think the next couple episodes will be Kat and Tess and Gabe, all of them helping, and JT helping Vincent complete his missions or figure things out in a different way in hopes of getting him free from what he's under the control of, and then, you know, working as a team and then having that shaken up a bit.
Now, have they mentioned how many people are on the list or how many people are left on the list for him to go through?
No, he said there's only a few people left, though. They did say that. We don't know how many a few is.
Few is not a very good definition.
That's left up to interpretation.
Right, because you can keep saying a few for the next 5 people, and Reynolds can be like, no, just a few more. Oh, no, just a few more.
Yeah.
And you're like, really? Like, this is endless.
Yeah, so we'll find out.
Yes,
I don't
we
know.
will.
I don't have any guesses on that, but I don't think it's going to be a very long list.
I hope not.
Yeah, no.
I'd like to see interaction between Kat and her father, like real face-to-face, not just interaction of her being oblivious and him walking into the room, because I feel like that's going to happen too. I think there's going to be some interaction in the office, in the precinct, and then when she really does find out who he is, that's when it's about to go down, because she's going to be like, really? This whole time you've known? This whole time? And not only have you known, you've been in my life professionally.
Yeah.
You butthole. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then a whole explanation of why. I want to know answers to why her mom was involved in Murfield. I want to know why she split up with real dad and got with fake dad, and they didn't take the time to tell her.
Did she split up with real dad? Was she having an affair with real dad?
Either way, I want to know these things.
Well, I think you're going to get your answers. I don't think you're going to get them anytime soon. I think you're probably going to have to wait until after the winter hiatus, to be honest. But
Ugh, rude.
Or rude. But I'm not the writer, so I don't know.
I know, I'm just taking out my anger against you. Anyways.
Oh, well.
But I had a wonderful time discussing and all of your enlightening comments.
I got deep. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's okay.
I got deep.
That's why we love you. So where can people continue to hear some of these deep thoughts?
Well, I have to say my Twitter is not the best place for deep thoughts, but I will get into conversation with you. So follow me on Twitter at Paige Sullivan and also on Instagram if you would like. And yeah, keep the conversation going. I try my best to tweet back as much as possible.
Absolutely. And you can follow me at Kiss My Passport. I am on Instagram as well if you want to see pictures of my dog. No,
yeah, that's all we Instagram, really, both of us.
But you can find me at Alikona Bradford for that. Or, you know, you're welcome to go to YouTube, type a search. I'm sure some random things will pop up there, too. So, anyways, it was a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for chatting with us and tweeting with us. And we will see you next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.